Hey, how's it going? It's Michael here, back with a brand new Cloverfield topic video. Unlike many other sci-fi films, Cloverfield didn't start off with a bunch of pre-made source material or spin-offs. The first movie, Cloverfield, came out in 2008, and at the time, that was it. No spin-off films or novels, it was an original film. Of course, later on in 2016, 10 Cloverfield Lane came out, and we discovered that not only is there a Cloverfield verse per se, and there will be more films continuing in the same world, but it turns out that aside from movies, there is another Cloverfield story, and that's in the form of a manga. For this video, we'll be talking about the Cloverfield manga Kishin, so let's get into it. The official Cloverfield manga called Kishin first came out in the year 2008. It was intended to be a sort of tie-in with the release of the original film, and it was published on a monthly basis on a web manga and released on Katakoa, Shoten's website. With regards to length, it's fairly short and concise, consisting of only 4 chapters. Surprisingly, Kishin reveals quite a lot of the backstory and story of Cloverfield, connecting to companies present in the film that are responsible for Clover's alleged attack, like Slusho and Tagrado. In addition, in the manga, you can actually see when the monster attacks that lines up exactly to when one of the photos were taken for the Cloverfield viral marketing on their official website. While there is a lot introduced and expanded upon in the manga, it's undetermined whether or not if it's actually canon. The story follows 2 teenagers, Kishin Aiba and Aiko Sasahara, at what appears to be the Choi station from the viral marketing material, and having to deal with the problems that happen when the monster attacks. In chapter 1, the manga centers around the main characters and switches between this and the creature being taken and held captive by the Japanese company Tagrado. So right off the bat, you can tell that the manga takes a very different and unique turn compared to the film. Instead of being a horror movie where a monster pops up out of the blue, there's a much deeper and planned origin for it, as it's hinted towards throughout the Easter eggs and more in the actual films. In the second chapter, we learn much more about Aiko and her struggle with Kishin, but as well, the monster actually attacks on the Tokyo seashores. Many other secondary and extra characters are introduced from the Tagrado company. One, for example, would be Sailor Hirosaki. What's interesting is, and actually coincides with the company Tagrado knowing and being responsible for the attack, is in the second chapter, the president, Mr. Aiba from Tagrado, gives a warning of the attack to come. Soon, the monster attacks, and upon hearing the news, both the teens seek for shelter. Throughout the 4 chapters, the two grow close to one another and bond. After wandering for a while, Aiko and Kishin come across a mysterious cult who attempt to take Kishin for some sort of experiment that's directly connected to the monster, Tagrado, and Slusho in some capacity. After the encounter with the strange cult, the two get separated, and shortly after, Aiko finds the military and seeks their help to find Kishin, only if she goes with some other soldiers at a nearby shelter, and ultimately they ignore her request. At the end of the second chapter, we spend a bit more time with the cult, as we see they have some sort of mask that resembles a face of the monster, and also has charms of some sort that are supposed to be the monster's arms. In the third chapter, things escalate quickly as Mr. Aiba comes and murders several cult members and explains to Kishin that his wife, Mrs. Aiba, sabotaged a Tagrado experiment with the monster, which is referred to here as Splinter of Amnion, also referred to the cult as God's Vestige. The cult then went on to fuse the monster's DNA in a small ball with Kishin's so they could use him to control the monster, as apparently there's a host that's supposed to control the creature. Shortly after, Mrs. Aiba was murdered as a result of Tagrado, leaving Kishin to be the only person with the monster's DNA inside his body and being able to use it. After this revelation, Mr. Aiba explains to Kishin that he needs him to sacrifice himself for the sake of humanity, but he won't go alone as he would die with him as well. Just as Aiba sets off an explosion, the creature arrives and shields Kishin with its hands. As this is happening, Aiko escapes the facility and finds Kishin in front of the monster. After communicating with the creature and discovering its past horrors and what it's been through, Kishin decides to destroy the world that had been mistreating him and the creature this whole time, and he decides to jump on top of the monster and leave. In the final chapter, essentially Kishin and the monster attack the city, going on a rampage, but ultimately end up heading towards a school. While a group of parasites are attacking a group of bullies, Kishin stops the creatures from attacking, shocking them, but shortly after sends them again to attack the bullies. 2 of them are knocked out, and one of the bullies is actually saved by Aiko, who arrives and attempts to reason with Kishin, explaining she has feelings for him. As a sign of apology, Kishin cuts his hair and says he'll leave the creature alone, and goes up to do so. Raged, the monster consumes Kishin with a feeding tube, and upon absorbing Kishin's emotions, the monster goes into a rage after the intense feelings Kishin had for life and for Aiko were too much. Right afterwards, upon being shot by several soldiers, the monster is shaken up by that and Kishin's realizations and heads back to the bottom of the ocean. After it sinks, it's revealed in a panel that there are actually several more eggs and many more monsters, also hinting that the creature in this manga might not actually be Clover from the film. In the end, Kishin is found on a piece of wood and is brought back to life and is reunited with Aiko. Anyway, that wraps it up for this video on the Cloverfield manga Kishin. What did you think about the manga? It's a pretty far out there story compared to what we've seen in the films. But what did you think about it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. That's it for this video. I'll see you next time. Take care.